Hi there, everyone. I'm Michelle.
I'm Jim, and we are
A Teach of Your Own. Welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated. Woo!
It's a hot, humid, sticky day in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Fall has not really arrived.
It's trying.
It's not doing a very good job of sticking.
Yeah, and temperatures are down.
Everything else is sticky. Fall is not around. Kind of muggy. Muggy.
I'll take it over that heat we had all summer.
But it is hot. That's the problem. When we had the heat, we didn't have the humidity.
Yeah, but it was hot. It's really hot.
This is just miserable. You walk outside, and it reminds me of Tallahassee.
A little bit.
And you'd walk outside, and the wet blanket would hit you. Yeah.
But it's not so hot, so
it's miserable. All right, busy weekend for us. Busy week as usual for us. And so I was reminded when I saw this quote, and it's Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, who said, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, when you look at the leaves on the trees, everybody's just like, when are they going to change? When are they going to change? They change when they change.
They change when they change.
They're not in a hurry to change. Same with when you're planting flowers. You're just like, all right, well, when are you going to, when are they going to come up? When are the flowers going to bloom? It happens when it happens. And so when it comes to life, do we necessarily have to hurry?
No. I mean, the universe does like speed.
Yes.
But sometimes great things take a while to happen. You have to, plant that seed, water that seed. You talk about this reminds me of, I think it's bamboo. There are certain types of bamboo that you have to plant it, and for like 5 years nothing happens, and then all of a sudden, boom, there it is. And since it's bamboo, it grows like crazy once it starts growing. That's the beauty of bamboo, it being a very renewable source. But yeah, but you're right. But it's like trees. I was looking at one of the dog parks that we frequent, and they planted trees, and initially they were just these little skinny things that provided no shade.
Yeah.
And over time, you go back one day and boom, there's a nice big tree providing lots of shade and making the place a lot more comfortable. It takes time.
Well, I was thinking, now that you mentioned trees, when we first moved to this area over 20 years ago, the house that we lived in was up on top of a hill.
Yes.
And when you're driving out some of the back roads and stuff to get from there to Greensburg, when you would be coming home, there's this one hill that you could get to the top of, and you could look out and you could see our entire neighborhood up there on the hill.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
No,
because there's a line of trees that have grown over the past 20 years, and now it blocks that view. You can't see it anymore. So it happens. It doesn't happen nearly as quick as some would like, but it does happen. Yeah.
Well, what's the other saying? Patience is a virtue.
Yep.
And sometimes you do have to be patient. Now, there are times when you don't want to be too patient. Sometimes there's steps that you could take to reasonably speed up a process. But there are just some processes, and pretty much everything in nature, there's not really a good way to speed up most of that. Even farmers with their crops, we know the seasons, we know what has to happen. They know when they need to plant, they know when they need to water and fertilize and do everything they need to do. And then they just have to patiently wait for everything to grow up out of the ground and then pick the right time to harvest it all. And yeah, you may have some new agricultural techniques and things that they can do, but it still doesn't change the seasons. And so there's a time for all of that, and they have to be patient and wait for it. And if they've done their job right and they've had some a little bit of luck with the elements, because let's face it, farmers have to deal with the weather.
Yeah.
And the weather can play a major role. Sometimes it can completely ruin a crop.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can provide, with so much of a crop that, believe it or not, that can actually be detrimental, because if there's too much, then you have an oversupply, which can bring down prices.
Yeah. When you have a bumper crop.
When you have a bumper crop, sometimes having a bumper crop, everybody else got a bumper crop too.
Yeah.
And now you've got way too much product, and
consumers are happy.
Yeah, consumers are happy because they're able to get it at
Farmers
a low price. Farmers are not. So either extreme can be a bad thing. Yeah.
So, but yeah, this quote, I was just like, there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
That because I am one of those people who's just go, 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 go. And you recently ran into somebody who was like that.
I've run into multiple people who are like that.
And not everybody around us goes at the same pace that we do. Right. And so we have to remind ourselves that nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Maybe not accomplished in the time that we want it to be, but it is accomplished. Because that's the other thing, is it gets done.
It gets done.
It just takes a while.
Right. Yes, it just may not be on your timeline. Mm-hmm. Just because, again, one of the hardest things for some people to realize is the world doesn't revolve around them. And the world will do what it wants to do when it wants to do it.
Yeah, Molly does not understand it.
No, Molly doesn't understand that at all. So, but some people don't understand it either.
So keep that in mind. When it comes to pacing, because that's really what we're talking about, is the pace that people move and get things done. When it comes to pacing, as you said, the universe appreciates a faster pace. Mm-hmm. However, sometimes, and I saw this quote also, and I thought about using this, and I was just, no, I like this one better. Sometimes you have to slow down to speed up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to slow down to catch up other people, so that way you have more people on board to help you speed up and get more done.
Right.
And so you have to take a look at your pace. And what is that pace that you are trying to move at, and can other people keep up with you? One of the things that John Maxwell tells you is, if you're a leader and you're out in front and you're all by yourself, you're not a very good leader.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be by yourself.
Yeah, you should have a team with you.
You should have everybody with you. And so you got to take a look around and see, is everybody keeping up with you and your pace? Are you going too fast? And if they aren't keeping up, you need to go back and get them and bring them with you. What if somebody needed help figuring out how to do that?
Well, there's lots of places they can go for help. Are you referring to us?
I think I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Then they can contact us.
They could. Because what can we do to help them in these cases?
We can help them in figuring out, well, what is a reasonable pace to go at? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Because that's one of the things that, I think we've all seen this. A company that they come out of the gates and they're just growing like crazy, but they grow too fast. Mm-hmm. They grow faster than everything else can keep up with. Mm-hmm. They outgrow their supply chain or their leadership structure or whatever it may be, and next thing you know, they're gone.
Yeah.
And you'll see that, and it's because somebody decided that they needed to grow way too fast. And part of that, the reason that happens in business, is because when they decide they want to grow way too fast, they'll go out and make poor financial decisions. Mm. The biggest one being to borrow a bunch of money so they can have all this growth, and then not getting the kind of return that they expected to get from all of that growth. And so that's why, one of the things I like, Dave Ramsey, he talks about growing at the speed of cash, with the idea being is that you only grow as fast as your cash flow will allow. And by doing that, you don't have to worry about outpacing your resources and outgrowing everything.
And that's an excellent point. If there are leaders out there that are looking around and realizing that their team can't keep up with them, and maybe it's because the team itself doesn't have the skills or doesn't have the ability to be able to do that, how could we help them in that case?
We could help them by examining what they're doing and see, what would truly be a reasonable pace to grow. What is it that they could actually accomplish? And then finding out what it is that they truly are trying to accomplish. I guess the big question is, why do you want to grow so fast? Is there a need to do that? Or would it make more sense to grow at a slightly slower pace to make sure that it's also, I compare this to, going to war. There's been many generals who have said that, armies basically move on their stomachs. It's a case of if your supply chains get stretched too thin, because your troops are making too much progress, you can't supply them with what they need. And as soon as you do that, they're going to get bogged down. So the idea is you want to make sure that you can continue to feed them, because hungry troops, they don't perform very well.
Well, in the non-military world, in the civilian world, leaders and their teams can only grow as quickly as the team itself can grow.
Right.
So they need the knowledge, they need the skills, they need the ability, and that's where we come in.
And they need their resources.
They do. And we are one of those resources that can help you.
Right.
When it comes to getting your team up to speed, getting them caught up so that they can help you to get back.
Make sure that they're ready to make that next step and move to the next level. Because if they're not, it's going to be a disaster.
Yes. So keeping in mind that it's probably going to be a slightly slower pace than what you're at now, but we can work with them to get them moving faster.
And it may be a case of we're able to work with them in such a way to where you can go at that speed that you're wanting to go. Just got to make sure that you've got everything in place to do that. We can help you with that.
Yeah. So if they wanted to get in contact with us, how could they do that?
Well, they could call us.
Yeah.
There's our phone number right there, 412-420-7975. We will actually pick up the phone and have a conversation with you. It's one of my favorite ways to communicate because it's fast. To me, it's much faster. You can text as well. So you got the phone number there. You can text us. We will text you back. I guess it's a preferred method of communication if you don't have the time for phone conversations. But like I said, I always feel like I get a lot more accomplished on a phone call.
Yes.
But it's just me. You can also send us an email, info@ateagueofyourown.com, right there on the screen.
Yep.
You can go to our website, ateagueofyourown.com. Amazing. We also have social media. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel where all of these Motivational Mondays are cataloged and stored, and you can go there and you can watch them. And only thing we ask, if you look us up on any of these websites, please like us and subscribe.
Yes, please. All right. So there you have it. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. It can be the same with you and your organization. You can get more things accomplished. Let us help you to do that. So we will see you next week. I have a feeling there'll be a different background next week.
I have a feeling you're correct.
Yes. So we will explain that next week when we see you. Have a good one, everyone.